It's Hick's 5-minute picks, week 5. 3-1 against the spread last week, 12-7 so far through the first 4 weeks. This is the week. We're going undefeated. Let's give you some games here. Virginia Tech at Miami on a Friday night. Hurricanes 19-point favorites at home. Give me a Miami win. Give me a Miami cover. Virginia Tech is just too much of a disaster this year to expect them to make this a game and make it competitive here. Defensively, they are horrendous. They've been a turnstile. 66th in total defense, not forcing any turnovers. Offensively led by Kyron Drones, turning the ball over left and right. It is a recipe that is, I think, going to equal a blowout. Hurricanes over the Hokies, 31-10 Miami rolls. Let's go to the Big 12. Number 20, Oklahoma State at number 23, Kansas State. Wildcats, 4.5-point favorites. Give me K-State to win and cover. Last week, I talked about when previewing Utah, Oklahoma State. I used the word trust. I'm using that again because I think the word trust here is imperative. You have both teams coming off embarrassing performances last week. Both teams come into this game with quarterback questions as well. So I trust Chris Kleiman to have his guys ready to play and play a cleaner brand of football more than I trust right now Mike Gundy. I trust Kleiman to make sure this team is not turning the ball over 3 times and also allowing a punt return for a touchdown like they did last week. Give me K-State here. And the other thing that's going K-State's way in this matchup, one of their fans last week before the BYU game tweeted, "I will shove a Taco Bell burrito up my ass if K-State loses." And his credit, he's now tweeted since he is going to pay off the bet this Saturday. So I'm going to take him at his word that he's actually going to shove this burrito up his ass, which is important in this game because a few weeks ago, a Florida State fan tweeted he would eat dog crap if Boston College beat Florida State. When that happened, you know what he did instead of paying off the bet? He ran away. He deleted social media. He's hiding. That's part of the reason why FSU has had a crappy season so far. That bad juju by that fan welching on a bet is why Florida State is in the tank. Now you have this K-State fan making good on a promise he made on Twitter, shoving the burrito up his ass. I think K-State, because of that, also does win as well. Give me K-State 21-13 over OK State. All right, number 15, Louisville, taking on number 16, Notre Dame Irish, 6-point favorites at home. Give me Louisville straight up here. They're pulling off the upset. Here's why. Notre Dame's offense stinks. Specifically, Riley Leonard stinks. That is a one-dimensional Notre Dame offense, and I just don't think right now they can make enough plays to put enough points on the board to win. Tyler Shuck has been tremendous for the Cardinals. They have a prolific rushing and passing attack as well. Give me Louisville in this game, 20-13. They pull off the outright upset over Notre Dame. In the Big Ten, a good one here. Number 19, Illinois at number 9, Penn State. Nittany Lions, 18-point favorites. The Knits win and the Knits cover. This is a different animal for Illinois compared to what they faced last week against Nebraska in terms of talent. And so when you look at Illinois, how do they make this a game? How do they win this game? Well, it's going to have to only be by turnovers. Now, they are elite at forcing turnovers. They're third in the country right now in turnover differential at +7. But when you look at this Penn State team, one of the things they do really well is not turn it over. Drew Aller, 10 total touchdowns, just 1 interception so far this season. And if Illinois is not forcing turnovers, I don't know how they're in this game. Because they don't do one thing well on offense. They don't do one thing really well on defense. They're really solid overall, but there's not one area outside of turnovers they can lean on to win this game. So give me a Penn State cover here because they're not going to turn the ball over. And so no turnovers for Illinois, no chance to win. Give me Penn State 37-13 in the first and only right now night game at Beaver Stadium. Should be an electric crowd there in Happy Valley. Finally, big one of the weekend. Number 2, Georgia at number 4, Alabama Dogs. 2-point favorites on the road. These two teams are evenly matched. And so I think this game is coming down to offensive explosiveness. Both defenses are too good to allow the opposing offense to march down the field 10, 12 plays, 75, 80 yards on a consistent basis. If you're going to score in this game, you have to do so through explosive plays. And I trust Alabama's offense right now to be more explosive, more consistently than I do right now Georgia's. I mean, you look at the Crimson Tide so far, they're number 1 in the country in terms of touchdowns over 20 yards with 13. And you look at Jalen Milroe, touchdown machine, 14 total touchdowns, most of any college football player so far. But also, he's not turning it over. 1 turnover. So he's being more judicious with the football compared to last year, making better decisions. His game is more well-rounded than it was this point last year. And on the flip side, I think Alabama's going to score in this game. My question is, how does Georgia score? Because their offense is not very dynamic whatsoever. This is a Georgia team that is supposed to be built on toughness and an offensive line and running the ball down your throat. They are 84th so far in the country this season when it comes to rushing yards per game. And to steal a term the kids are using these days, their wide receivers are mid. They're still trying to figure out how they're replacing 4 out of their top 5 receivers from last year, have not been able to do so on a consistent basis this year. I don't think Georgia's offense is going to be good enough to keep up with Alabama, especially on the road. Give me the Crimson Tide 27-24 over the Dogs. I know we went a little late here, but biggest game of the year. I figured let's give you a little extra analysis here. That is Hick's 5-minute picks for week 5.